Peace, 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 peace. This is part 2. I did stated that I don't know how many parts it was going to be. The ancestors woke me up. And I just didn't want to throw all the information at you. And so quickly I wanted to slowly break it down and give you this information. And the information is about the starting point on how we destroyed ourselves and destroyed our black civilization. And we keep crossing over. I'm constantly pointing the finger at everyone else. And to be honest with you, we need to point the finger at ourselves. And it can do, when we be able to accept that, when we'll be able to accept what our people's done. And if you, and I believe some of y'all did your research and you're not talking about it. You don't want to talk about it. And it's easy to point the finger and say the white man is, the white man that. Oh, the white man had a great hand in it. But he wasn't by himself. And he didn't create it. And what I'm talking about is slavery. And slavery exists today. They might change the name, but it exists to this day. Like to call human trafficking is the reason why there's human trafficking. They just changed the name. Okay? When you got millions of black people around the world is being missing. Okay? You had millions of people that's living in these nice, beautiful houses and doing domestic cleaning and not really getting paid for it. Or some of them not getting paid at all. And they're not going to open their mouth because they live in this house. They never live in a house so beautiful in their entire life because of where the country where they was at. They live in a property because they live in property. So when they live in this house and now they figure like, listen, this is the best I ever had in my life. So I'll do all these things. I don't even have to go to school. These things exist. But I'm just telling you little bits and pieces. Because we don't want to accept. We want to hide the truth. We're good for that. And my ancestors woke me up. They said, you need to know. You got to know. And I need to tell you this. And the reason why we sit up here and we keep saying to ourselves, or when we talk in regular discussions, and we sit there and say, oh, why do we hate each other so much? It's in your DNA. Your descendant passed it on to you, whether you like it or not. Listen, I don't care about all these scholars and all that stuff. No, I care about their work and their craft and the things they've done over the years. I appreciate that. I really do. Because without y'all, I wouldn't be here today. I appreciate Phil Valentine. I appreciate John Henry Clark and Dr. Ben Jehoshaphat. I appreciate Bobby Hemming, Master Teacher Aisha Queza. I appreciate I can go on and on and on. But what I do want to know is this, and I've now known because of my own journey, and I'm telling you all, don't be afraid to go on your journey. Don't just scratch the top of the surface. Go deep into the rabbit hole. Go try to find out the starting point. Then study a little bit of that starting point. The starting point, slavery. You see, we stopped that slavery from the Dutchess. Nobody seems to never want to talk about the Arabs. The Arabs is about a bunch of people, mixed people anyway, if you understand that. All you will be going to them stores, them Arab stores and stuff like that, you don't even know their background. You just go in their stores, you're all up in their face, and they sit up there and tell you, oh, look, we are from the same skin. They throw that skin crap on you. Well, why don't you ask yourself this question? Go into any Italian neighborhoods, Irish neighborhoods, Polish neighborhoods, Russian neighborhoods, Chinese neighborhoods, Japanese neighborhoods, and see if you find an Arab opening up their store into those neighborhoods. I bet you don't even think about that. I bet you don't even come to your common sense. Like why they don't go into those neighborhoods. Literally, you're not going to find an Arab store in one of these neighborhoods. Literally. They're going to have to ask permission. Trust me. I don't want to waste too much time on that. But I just gave you a little input to give you a little visual why certain things is happening. Now, what I do want to say is this. African people has been having slavery from the Egyptians. What'd you think? All those beautiful monuments, the pyramids, which is built for free labor? I mean, people's getting paid, excuse me? No. No. When two different nations collide and you capture another nation, what do? You don't kill these people, you use them. Because free labor gives you access for more power. You'll be able to build things and create things with this free labor. Use your common sense. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know this. Okay? Now, we know Africans had wars in Africa to establish a nation to be able to conquer another one. We know that. Okay, so when Africans been selling Africans and Africans been capturing each other from the wars, and if you in a war, you have the spoils of victory. Okay, so understand the starting point of slavery. Understand that. Now, if you happen to be in this nation, everything is fine, everything is great, right? And all of a sudden, your people begin to not be able to afford certain things anymore. So what happens is this here. If you can't afford it, I'll make you my slave. Not saying the word, I say you'll have to work for free. And you have to work for free for so many years. Well, this was going in Africa. But remember, this is the starting point. You're working for free, but nobody's putting chains on your neck. Nobody's taking your religion away, or your spirituality, because in those days, there was such thing as religion. It was spirituality. They just used the word religion because when it was breaking down the concept of the language they was using at the ancient times, for here in America, they used the word religion. That's all. But it was spirituality in those days. Okay? Let's just keep it real. Let's stop the bull crap. Okay? So, now, you think all these monuments were just built one time deal? No. They had to learn how to build these pyramids. They ain't just build it one time and all of a sudden it was just created. No. They got documents and they got different documents showing you how they started off building these pyramids. You know, piece by piece, they showed you with mistakes, and then they did it again. So who moved all these big stones? How it was done? Slaves. Slaves. Captured slaves from war. You understand? Why use your own people when you can go capture somebody else and bring them to it and have them do the work? You ain't got to spend no money. You don't got to use no resources. Think. Think, common sense. You don't have to be no rocket science to understand this. If you read your little Bibles, the Bible that y'all have, it tells you in your Bible. It's little pieces that tells you that. Okay? In your Quran and other books. If you do a little bit of research. I'm just giving you small little pieces to understand the point of slavery. Our people's been in slavery from the beginning. We've been doing it to each other from the beginning. You know this. But what you don't want to do is talk about it. Now, the humane slavery, that's another part. But our people's always been in slavery. In Egypt. Everybody want to talk about Egypt as this bad nation. Really? What? Guess what? Everybody named Mama, just being systematical, went to Egypt to learn. They went to Egypt because that's where the master teachers were. You went to Egypt for astronomy, science, mathematics, history, huh? You went to Egypt to learn these things. They don't talk about nowhere else about that. They talk about Egypt. But everybody want to talk about Egypt as this bad, scary place. And just to throw religion in there a little bit, quote unquote, Jesus was there. Where do you think Jesus learned? Huh? You don't want to talk about the truth. You don't want to talk about the truth. Okay? Since y'all want to, we will use Jesus first per se, but it's really the Hebrew name they use is Yosef, excuse me. But then, if you get into that a little bit, that can go to another level somewhere else. So we're not really get into that. I just threw that in there a little bit. Slaves, man. They always been slaves. Here in modern time, when you paying people to work. But what about those immigrants that come over here and they're not getting minimum wages? What about those people who's making your sneakers? Huh? Your beautiful clothing that you be wearing. Your Gucci's, your Louis Vuittons. All you people who so deep into these European names and you buying their clothes and helping them, making them rich. But do you know whose sweatshops that these people are in getting a penny a day, 2 cents a day? But these people in these sweatshops doing the work. What you think sweatshops is? That's slavery. You just not getting the humane behavior. Chopping people's heads off, hands, feet, right? You're not getting bull whipped, okay? But what's the difference? You working for pennies. You in a sweatshop all day around the clock because you got to find a way to feed your family. But think about it. This is the reason why people do what they do. Because they got families and they got to feed their family. Now, when you catch it, you got to eat what the masters give you. Remember that. This ain't no rocket science to understand this here. All the other things are layers and layers and layers and layers and layers and layers and layers. It gets deep. It goes down. The darker you go, the farther you go, the darker it becomes. It's not a rocket science, man. The destruction of the black civilization long time ago. Long time ago. One of the greats, in my opinion, football player, Jim Brown, clearly stated this. What do you people keep talking about being together? Blacks never been together. The only time you've been together is when you was in the bottom of them slave ships. When they had no other choice but to learn each other's language. To do what? To escape and capture them ships. Also, when they got to the new land, if you will, because there wasn't no new land, the indigenous people was here. We already knew that. We didn't know that, but as you study, you find out there's different people all over the world. Okay? This is why a lot of people say they're not Africans. You know what I'm saying? Because there were people from different parts of the world. But that's on another level. So there's levels of all kinds of issues and avenues about life itself. But slavery, this is what we needed to be discussing this. And understand the vocal point and the beginning of it. That's the hope. There's going to be part 3 coming up. Let's give all respects to the Creator. The sun rises. Good morning. Assalamu alaikum. Amun. So, this is part 2. We're going on part 3. The destruction of the black civilization. Where slavery started. Where did slavery point, the starting point of slavery? My ad. And because our people are so scared, we don't want to discuss it. We'd rather point the finger at everybody else. but you damn sure participating on giving everyone something. Peace.